There she is. Welcome everyone for
Hi.
joining us and tuning in live. Let me turn this down. There's an echo.
I
Okay.
think it's me too. There
Okay,
we go.
perfect.
Hey.
Yay. Hi. Hello, hello, you guys on Instagram. We see you tuning in. Thank you for tuning in live with us. Say hello if you're here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you've been with us for a while, I would love to know that. Let us know if you've been following us for a while or if this is your first time. Put that in the chat box. And especially over here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, we see you. If you're tuning in live with us, say hello. If this is your first time, you guys tuning in to us, first time with Divine Femme, what we do is we help spiritual leaders, healers, coaches launch impactful businesses online that are aligned, magnetic, prosperous, and sustainable so they can do their mission work and be fully supported and create their freedom-based lifestyle in the process. So we specifically work with female spiritual entrepreneurs that have a big calling in their heart and soul that they can't deny, and they are ready to answer that call of divine service, step into higher service, and they're ready to do it without self-sacrifice. And this is going to tie into the title today.
And
the
with
title,
more fun and more
go ahead.
flow and celebration.
Yeah.
Divine
So this
friend,
is
divine
values.
values.
And we're going to talk about specifically the money that your business can bring in, because this is a hot topic that we get even a lot of heat for, to be honest. And so the title for this is, yes, you can charge for your gifted spiritual services, and that doesn't mean that you're evil.
Ooh,
And
let that land. Let that land. Wow.
We get so many comments sometimes for shining our light and sharing our gift with the world. When you know you're being called to entrepreneurship as the vehicle to help get your gift out to the masses, and for you to be able to do it full time and make it sustainable for yourself, so you don't have to be doing other things that do not light you up. I really do not feel that you're here in this lifetime to do things that you're half-heartedly into, that are not lighting you up. Your soul is calling you for a reason. So that being said, a lot of our clients, when they find us, they still have some subconscious blocks around receiving sales and money. And it may just be some of their own money issues, but a lot of times it's tied to the fact that they're offering spiritual services. And when we get to the root of this, and we look at other, I'll save that. But what we're going to, one of the comments that triggered this conversation in a good way, because it doesn't upset me. I'm perfectly happy to share this and say it proudly, that I do not feel that you charging for your spiritual services makes you evil. But a lot of people will think that and reach out to you as you step onto this path because they have some dogma related fears around receiving. I don't know what's going on there. When you're coming from a heart-centered place and you're coming from a place to help impact people in a good way, and that there are people willing and able and wanting and desiring to have that in their life, then I feel that you are stepping into divine service. And if that happens to be entrepreneurship, then it happens to be entrepreneurship. Not everybody is called to entrepreneurship. There's plenty of light workers out there and healers and teachers that are just shining their light in their community, or they're not looking to do this on a full-time basis and not have their full-time career and switch gears from corporate or whatever the case may be. And that's totally fine. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the ones that are being called to sacred leadership and spiritual entrepreneurship, where they are meant to do it full time and fully sustain themselves and be supported in doing so they don't have to split their energy, their time, or their focus with other things that are not impacting the masses and the collective in a way that they could if they were fully tuned in and tapped into their mission and what their soul is calling them to do. And so one of the comments that popped in, it was, it's so funny. I have to even laugh when I see it. Someone was getting, pretty vicious in the comments the other day and literally said, like, no one needs needs to get paid for spiritual services, go kill yourself or something like that. Like, total vicious comment, totally attacking me because I help people build spiritual businesses and make and generate revenue for their spiritual company and things like that. And Vanessa and I do this together as part of Divine Femme. But these little things that pop in, if you're just starting out, are going to severely trigger the shit out of you if you're just starting out. And that's a good thing, but you can tell by the reaction to it that you have, whether or not it's something that still needs to be healed within yourself. Literally, it rolls off my back, and I just send her, I bless her, because there's obviously something else going on there for a comment like that. It has nothing to do with me or what I'm offering. However, if you're just starting out, and it wasn't always that way for me, when people would have their opinions, the naysayers, the opinions on what you're feeling called to create, and they have an opinion on it, you're going to be able to tell by your reaction to it whether there's something that you need to dive deeper on in order to unwind there, so you can come into full acceptance and clarity and alignment with what it is you're here to do, what it is you're here to create, the abundance that you want to create in your life, and the abundance that you want to help others create in their life. How can you help others create abundance in their life if you yourself are not allowing abundance in your life in all shapes and sizes, in all different ways, right? So this is something to look at. This is something to look at and reflect on. Do you have a block, or do you have a belief system that keeps you from charging for your spiritual services? Do you feel it's okay to be wealthy and rich while being spiritual? This is something that a lot of our clients have a struggle with when they first find us. Do you think Eckhart Tolle is less spiritual because he's worth $75 million?
And he doesn't care. He owns it. He receives it like that, which is awesome.
And he's not attached. There's a level of ego and detachment from it. It's coming from service. It's coming from impact. It's coming from the natural ebb and flow of energy. When you make a bigger impact in the world, there's going to be more that comes back to you. You're putting more energy out into the world. You're making a bigger impact in the world. There's going to be more that comes back in all different ways. Whatever you do with that is up to you. But there's no shame attached to that. So if you're attaching shame to it or guilt to it for some reason, these are heavier energies that are ego driven that you can look at, because why, and start to ask some of the deeper questions to unwind this, because I see a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs that'll put up blocks around their receiving and growing their business for this very issue, yet they are being called to it. So what they end up finding themselves is that one big tug of war from what their soul is calling them to create and what they're allowing themselves to create, because they're allowing their ego and their mind to judge them and attach meaning to something that doesn't have to be there. Do you feel, if this is resonating with you, that you're more of higher service to be abundantly supported in mission work? Are you going to be of higher service when you are able to settle into your creative flow and you're able to create from a divine place all the things that your higher self is calling you to create and birth into the world? Or do you feel that you're going to be of higher service when you're splitting your energies and spreading yourself thin and doing something that doesn't light you up, that actually depletes your energy instead of energizing you, and all of the other things that happen when you're doing work that is not really fully in alignment? The overwhelm, the burnout, the lack of enjoyment, joyful creation, it's all ceases to exist when you're not fully tapped into what your soul is calling you to do. If you're creating something for the sake of money, or you're creating something for the sake of doing it, you're not going to have that joyful creation experience. And we're not saying to go out, and this is why if you tried to create a spiritual business solely for the fact of making money, you're not going to be tapped into your creative flow. You're not going to be tapped into your divine flow. It's not going to be a joyful creating experience. It's not going to be a freedom feeling business. It's not going to be creating expansion, because you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because you're not in alignment with what it is that you're called to do. The impact comes first. The mission, the desire to make an impact with your gift comes first. If you were to create anything just for the money, it's going to fall flat and not light your soul up. So of course that goes without saying with a spiritual business. So this is why, if you are a heart-centered entrepreneur, a soul-centered entrepreneur, creating from a place of integrity, and this is the one thing that flipped the script for some of our clients, when she finally learned, and these are her words, when she finally learned that what she was offering was of the highest integrity that was coming through her, it was of the highest integrity. I'm getting full chills right now. When she learned it was from the highest integrity, She started enrolling soulmate clients with her business with ease and showed up like a boss and was able to enroll clients confidently at the multiple four-figure level, where before she was literally fearful and to the point in tears when it came to thinking about selling and being on a sales call or a discovery call, enrolling clients or getting paid. And she had to come full circle in her own transformation around what it was that she was actually offering and where she was coming from. Because there's a difference there. If you think sales feels slimy in your business, there's misalignment there. And maybe you've had slimy sales experiences, which causes you to have perceptions that are tainted around the exchange of services that are of the highest value. So there needs to be a reframe in your mind and your belief system and a recalibration to what sacred service means and sacred sales and sacred leadership actually means. So you can come into full connection and alignment with what it is you're actually offering. Because if you don't come into full alignment with what it is you're actually offering, you will have a disconnect when it comes to generating revenue and business in your sales as it relates to spiritual services. So the disconnect is within you. The alignment piece is within you, because you're not yet clear that A, you're not doing it for the money. That just happens to be a byproduct of the energetics that you're putting out into the world and the impact that you're putting out to the world. The more you put out, the more people know your name, the more people buy your stuff, the more people are in your world, the more people share your thing. Like, the more you put out as far as impact and energy, your energy output, unless you have a block to receiving, which you'll know, there's an energy input that's coming back to you. And that can be in all different forms, not just money. But there's a calibration to this that needs to affect, there's an embodiment of this rooted in you getting really clear on what it is you're doing and why. Why you're doing it, the intention behind it, and the actions that are taken then. And then you have to recalibrate yourself over and over again and not allow ego to take the train as you continue to grow your spiritual business. And this is not saying that desiring finances, desiring wealth and or luxuries or revenue or clients or any of these things are a quote unquote bad thing. Those are not bad things. It's a byproduct of you putting yourself out there, or it's an ego-driven carrot you're chasing. Which one is it for you? Where's your heart coming from? Is it an ego-driven carrot, like a box you're trying to check, like something that needs to fluff your ego to validate you? Or is it something that is coming from a heart-centered, soul-driven place? And you're coming from a place of authenticity, and you're coming from a place of impact. Do you think the Dalai Lama is less spiritual because he's generated he's worth like 150 million? These are just questions I'm throwing at you so you can think about this, because receiving is not a bad thing. And receiving for your spiritual services is not a bad thing. And what you do with that is up to you. But you will have naysayers out there as you step onto this path. And I've experienced that personally for several years. And I can tell that there's no energetic trigger there anymore. So there's no work for me to do around that. I have no shame around charging for impactful, high-level services that someone else truly wants to invest in. And that could be a low ticket or a medium ticket or a high ticket offer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. The price point doesn't even matter. It's just a simple fact of being okay with the what you're putting out and aligned with the integrity and knowing why you're doing it and coming from a non-ego place. There's always going to be a shred of ego as long as you're growing your business. This is as long as, even while we're on planet Earth here having this experience, there's going to be, are you aware of this? Do you have ego awareness in your business? Why are you doing it? Do you want to enroll your next client just so you can pay your bill? Do you want to enroll your next client because you're here because you have no choice, because this is your soul calling and you're here to make an impact? Those are two different things. And when you can just follow the thread of, spiritual, when you can just follow the thread that your soul is leading you on and follow that breadcrumb and make it about why you're doing it, then the game changes, because then you are putting out things, and then you have to recognize if you're allowing that stuff to, it's like a boomerang. The energy comes back, it's like a boomerang. What you put out, there's going to be a ripple effect of that. And if you're open to receive it, it's going to be there for you. If you're not open to receive it, then it won't. But if you feel like you're in this tug of war where you yourself have this fear that if you charge your spiritual services, then that makes you less spiritual in some way. And in some cases, other people will even go as far to say that you're evil for it. And you're afraid of that, subconsciously or consciously, then you're going to be blocking your spiritual business all along the way. And that's for you to get clear on. So you know who you are. And you're not letting everybody in the peanut gallery with an opinion determine who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. So you can get clear.
This, first of all, I want to check in. Can you hear me okay? I'm having like a little bit of lag on my end. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Because this is so good. I want to bring full circle a couple things, and I really, I want us to drop in for a hot second, because if you relate with this, or if you are getting triggered by this, those are two good things, because you know in your soul, a part of you knows you are part of this awakening that we're having. And we've talked about this a lot here with Divine Femme. It's something myself and Sarah are so passionate about, really bridging spirituality and wealth and luxury. Because I'm going to sit for 1 second, and we always talk about this, but bringing yourself beyond this conversation, beyond your physical body, kind of seeing almost like being the higher self. And I see both sides, because in one end, it can feel so heavy and you're in it in the muck here on earth. And we have to remember, if we're being so real, truth is fucking simple, right? What is truth? Everything is fucking spiritual. Even business, non-spiritual business is spiritual, because we are not who we truly are, is not this physical being holding this cup. You know, these are great things, but we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. So I get really excited that we finally are coming into an age. I mean, let's keep it even like practical. Think about when we first came into credit cards, and we came from, I mean, I wasn't around, you guys weren't around, but like when we had bricks of gold, you know, porting over, and then switching into a piece of plastic, people, it just, all this stuff flies up. Because why? Because it's new and it's unfamiliar. And our brains as humans, when we're here 3D Earth, tend to get like comfortable with what we know, what we're familiar with, which is why we always encourage stepping out of your comfort zone, expanding yourself. So I want to break this down and give you some tactic, like tools right now in this moment. If you are a spiritual entrepreneur and you are new, totally get, like Sarah said, how that first hit can hurt. It can bring up all this stuff. Okay. But we have to remove ourselves beyond that and become the awareness of that comment. Don't judge that comment. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge the person saying it. You remove yourself and you look at it objectively. You can see that it's just some unraveling of your own subconscious beliefs that are coming up, that you get to bless and heal and remind yourself that you are powerful. And yes, you have this calling for a reason. Yes, you're moving forward. Thank you so much. You've got it, because you know who the F you are, right? So it's so fun. There's nothing to judge. Nothing serious is going on here, really, even though it can feel like it and can hurt for a second. But that's why I love showing up for you guys and reminding you of your power, reminding you that you know who you are. So keeping this simple, yes, the title, you can charge for your gifts and your spiritual services. That does not make you evil. One, I want to ask you, when we say that you can charge for your gifts, how does that make you feel? And the evil part, where is that coming from? Is it coming from your religion? Is it coming from your past? Ask yourself where you got that belief, and if you still desire to believe it, right? We are talking to your visionaries, guys. If you resonate with us, your visionaries, your leaders, and leaders have to stay firm in their knowing, even when everyone around them laughs or mocks or whatever. And we both have had that happen. So, but you have to, like, that's where it comes, like, stop looking for the outside sources and the outside validation. You've got to go within. So this is a very tricky, not actually, no, it's not. It's very simple, to be honest. Everything's fucking spiritual. Why are we making a big deal? All this spiritual talk of money, money's fucking energy. Like it's so funny how ridiculous this is. And we're putting so much energy in the lack and the fear and the judgment and the comparison. When in turn, if we could really switch and know that truthfully, Money talk, we're tapped in like what we are. It's like going into the ocean and just, are you going into the ocean with a little like broken cup that has holes and you're kind of, you get some and pours out, or you go into the ocean with a freaking pipe, plugging it in because you know we're never going to run out, and having that knowing, that expectation. So remove the money, like Sarah said, okay? There's more than enough for everyone. There's more than enough. And change it around. If you are doing this for the money, that's a deeper issue. And ask yourself why. Are you trying to prove something? Are you trying to make up for something? And how can we literally, this is what I love we do, how can we switch that around? We help you be the attractors, you're magnetic, you know, your sacred confidence, right? And the money just, it comes, it flows. And you get to show up living in your purpose, living in your mission. I gotta be real. I've said this in the last one. It's so effing fun being in a spiritual soulpreneur industry where some of our clients, like, they are so talented and so effing beautiful, and they have such downloads and sessions and services I like couldn't even think of, but it's not meant for me or Sarah. It's theirs. It's meant for them. They have it. And I love helping you get out of your way so you can fully have that. But like seeing people thrive and seeing how the life has changed. And yes, that's financial freedom. Yes, that's more time. Yes, that's more time for yourself, time for your family, your kids, your husbands, time to explore more, adventure more. It really, it's so much bigger than an exchange. Oh, I just do this little service and give me money. Oh, but I feel guilty because it's spiritual. Fuck all this. Everything's spiritual. Life is spiritual. So let's turn this around. Tap into being so clear. I know this is my purpose. This is my mission. This is my message. And I'm so honored and happy to send it out into the world. And I receive the compensation because I know my worth. I know that I'm the vehicle for them to transform. I know this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And boldly see the difference from the people. There are some people that have such a passion. You have $1 million idea, $1 billion idea inside you right now. Will you ever let yourself get out of your own way and let the world see it? Because who knows how that could impact, how you could change your life, their life, the world's life. It's mutually beneficial. Ooh.
That's a good thing. That's a good way, mutually beneficial. If you're building a spiritual business, it's always going to be mutual beneficial, which comes back to the beginning where you're not building it based off of self-sacrifice. If you're building your business off of self-sacrifice, it's not in alignment, because what is in alignment for you that your soul's calling you to create will not require self-sacrifice. It will require work. It will require dedication. It will require commitment. It will require faith. It will require showing up. It will require money, investing, all those things, but it's not going to require you to self-sacrifice your own value system. It'll never allow you to your own value system. So if you value time and freedom and abundance, it's not going to ask you to sacrifice those things. And for everybody that has the objection, I'll share the number one objection. Yeah, but so many people in the world need these gifts. And so if you're charging, especially if you're charging high ticket or a premium price, like the programs we help you create, the Sacred Leader Academy, what happens to everybody that isn't able to afford those services? Well, I would just like to say, I address this in Sacred Leader Academy, Vanessa and I do. We really highly, when you're being called to service, you're going to be called to put yourself out there in so many ways and allow your message to be reached by so many people. Now, does this mean that we can just say right now that 90% of the content we put out there, just so you guys are aware, is free. 90% is free. Or some of our events are like $49, right? So 90% of our content is completely free, and there's still content that is charged a premium for. And so there's if you have $0 right now and you still want to tune in and get tips on how to grow your spiritual business, we give you so much of that in a free container in Mission to Impact, our Facebook group, or you can tune into our podcast and you can get all of this content for free. So or you can buy one of our books that are coming out for $20, right? So there's different price points. People can consume your information and your content without you charging a premium for everything, right? So we understand that you want to make this accessible to the masses. And so this is a big thing, because a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, you are here to impact the masses. That's who we specifically help, people that want to make a global impact. So how can you build your business in a scalable way that is smart, that allows your message to reach the masses and your gift to reach the masses, while you can still charge what you need, a healthy rate for yourself, so that you can be abundantly supported? Because there's nothing wrong with that. And your soul would never ask you to sacrifice your own value systems if you value safety, security, travel, fun, freedom, flow, and all of those things. You're never going to be asked to self-sacrifice. Is there a way to build your business that brings it all together full circle? Yes. For example, I used Eckhart Tolle as an example earlier. You can get all of his content for free.
Yeah.
You can get Power of Now for like, I don't know, Audible for $1 or something like that, right? Like you can consume all of his content for free if you want to. He's got plenty of YouTube channels, plenty of free master classes, you know, or I mean, he's got a YouTube channel with free videos of master classes, a book that's like under $10, you know, or whatever, an Audible, whatever you want. Like he's accessible. He's making an impact. It's about the impact and getting his message out in the broadest way, right? And to making the most impact. The fact that he is generating revenue and is wealthy of it is a side note. That's not why he's doing it. And it's not, and it's not the only, but when he comes to the Biltmore, about 10 minutes from here, 15 miles from me or whatever, and he comes to the Biltmore and he charges $1,000 a ticket, does he have a problem charging $1,000 a ticket to come see him live in person for the people that are willing, ready, and want to pay? And they're like, yes, I value that. I want to go see Eckhart Tolle in person. I want to drop $1,000 on it and bring my girlfriend. I'm going to go, or bring my spouse, and I'm going to go watch Eckhart Tolle or be in that energy and be in that community and be in that environment. And it's worth every penny to that person. That you can consume all of his content for free. Do you see what I'm saying? He's able to charge a healthy price point, guilt-free, shamelessly, because that's not what it's about. It's about making something available for people that actually want it, and it's a mutually beneficial exchange.
Yes.
Does this make sense?
That's the key. It's so good. So rounding this out, this was so good, you guys. Thank you. We see you. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for being here on the podcast. So excited to hear what resonates and how you embody this. Let's close this out with a beautiful, like little kind of fun exercise, accountability exercise with money and with this topic. You know, we talked about like, yes, sales are fun. And Sarah had brought up earlier in the conversation, are you praying for that next soulmate client just to get a sale, just to pay the bills? No, because this is if you're resonating with us, you're in a soul business. You're not a 9 to 5, like you're ever evolving your business. It's so beautiful. Entrepreneurs, soulpreneurs, it's a special honor and a special responsibility to continue to grow and stand up. So we are so firm on being, you know, leaders of divine leaders, helping guide people to divine leadership. And that includes luxury and wealth and spirituality to add back to yourself. So I want you, let's pretend you just got your next sale. Let's say you have like a $3,000 program. Sit down and write out. It's not just a sale that comes in, oh, I'm paying my bill. Where does that money go? It's really fun because money's energy, right? When we have like an output, are you excited to invest some back into your business to impact more people? Because as it grows and your business grows, you impact more people. So would that money go back? Are you excited to invest back into your business? Would you go to giving yourself a massage for you and your husband because you know having a healthy relationship also helps your business and helps yourself and helps all the people you're around? Would you spend it on lunch for a girlfriend you haven't seen in forever? Where would you put it? Would you put some in savings? Would you put some in like a little group you want to start with some sisters? I don't know, anything. But it's so fun when we can really shift this energy of money and spirituality and business, right? We deal with spiritual entrepreneurs, but like business is beautiful, money is beautiful, sales are beautiful, they're magical. It's how we make the world go round. It's how we like help our economic state that we're in and help each other expand on all the creations in their souls that like are chomping at the bits, waiting to be expressed through them and for the world. When we can get out of the way of this whole exchange for money and money and money. It's energy. Spirituality is everywhere around us. Everything's spiritual. Money is spiritual. Your business is beautiful and spiritual, and all is well. And we are the ones that get to decide this and be the example that having a spiritual business is an honor, is a responsibility. Yes, it's action we love. We take it. We are true divine leaders impacting this world mutually beneficially for the goodness and the elevation and the expansion and the healing and the fun and the joy and the adventure and the luxury for all that know this, that resonate with this, that tap into this. And we get to be the examples and plant the seeds for the people that feel it but are too scared to step up. So be that leader. I know you are.
And on that note, just, something that's coming through when you talk about being the example, just close this out so it's not too long for people.
This is so good.
This is my prophecy, right? Of what's coming through is I really feel like we're going to start to see a split in the collective on people that are living their most authentic, fulfilled, joyful, abundant life that is soul-based and that is faith-based and that is deeper, more aligned, higher intention. And then there's going to be another side of that coin, which is fine, which is fear-driven, ego-driven, ego-based for the success or the accolades, but not coming from a pure centered heart space, that not going to be able to experience the same level of joyful creation or abundance and flow in their life. And this isn't to say one's good or one's bad. It's just the 3D playing out in this experience. But I can say that if you're called to Vanessa and I's work, then you're a match for the latter. You're a match for what your soul is calling you to create. And this is your destiny, is to be able to thrive as an example. When Vanessa mentioned examples, to thrive as an example that we are co-creators, that we are here creating and created from the divine, and that we are living, breathing, walking, talking examples that life can pulse through us and we can create whatever we want. We can manifest abundance in our life and we can make a massive impact. And we can live a joyful, abundant experience. You're here to be an example of that. You're not here to be an example of fear-driven, ego-driven, more masculine oriented. And I'm not saying masculine energy is bad, but we are coming and switching. There's a paradigm shift, switching from an overly masculinated society, and we're switching into a more intuitive, more in the flow, more spiritually aligned way of being and way of doing business, relationships, and on all the things, handling money, creating everything. And so as we see this shift this paradigm shift, this is why there is such a rise in feminine energy that has been suppressed for so long, because we've been in a very patriarch dominated society that is ruled by external validation and success. It's rooted in competition. It's rooted in all of these things that, when brought into balance, can be healthy, but when left just being the sole driver, very unhealthy. And we're here to bring balance back to commerce, balance back to business.
I'm so glad you said that. Yep.
Balance back to being able to have a healthy integrated masculine energy in our life and our business, with a healthy integrated feminine energy in our life and our business. And you're here to be an example of that.
I love this so much. I love the 8 and the infinity sign, because let's just all meditate today on harmony, perfect balance, harmony of both, like just that harmony and just flowing with ease and harmony and balance. I am lit. I hope this lit you guys so much up. This was really, really fun. So good. Beautiful girl.
They're so fun. So you guys, if you wanted the next steps, reach out to Vanessa and I, or follow the link in our bio on Instagram, or you can check out the show notes, or above or below this video, wherever you happen to be tuning in with us, there's a link to watch our free masterclass. And this is where we share the simple framework our clients are using to create premium programs. And when we say premium, they're somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 level that create transformational, epic results for their clients. And we help guide you in coming into complete alignment with actually being able to attract in soulmate clients that already know that they want to work with you, because you're so in alignment with your mission, your purpose, who you're here to serve, and why you're doing it. And then we help you create the structure, the masculine structure, to also support that, so that you can scale and make the massive impact that you're here to make, while having freedom on the back end of your business to go out there and use your time however you are called to use your time. And we already know that if you're a heart-centered light leader, teacher, healer, coach, visionary, your time is going to be called to be used for the highest and greatest good. And that may look like really benefiting your own experience so you can show up in your highest and greatest good, or it may be that time could be used to create something else that impacts more millions of people, whatever that is. And so check out the masterclass. That's just the very first step, because we like to make sure that you're sort of in tune with us before we hop on a call, because this program isn't for everybody. We don't accept everybody. It's not something you can just click a button and sign up for. There is a vetting process So if you watch the master classes and it resonates, then check out the impact assessment. And that's when you and I would hop on a call, and it'll become very evident very quickly on that call. If you have a massive program within you that is a transformational program that offers epic results, and I will help you map out all of that from scratch all the way through how to sell it. On this call, it's probably one of the most valuable calls you will sit on if you are starting a spiritual business right now as an entrepreneur. Without this information, you can spin your wheels for years, cause a lot of extra stress, lose a lot of money trying different things that don't actually work because you are not clicked into alignment with a program that truly supports not only your mission and impact, but also your own lifestyle goals and values, which is just as equally as important. So when you take all of this into consideration, if you're ready to charge a healthy price for your premium service, while you still continue to do other things that you're called to make the impact in the world and get your message out in the most scalable way, then this masterclass is for you. And then the impact assessment will definitely be for you. And those are very limited. I only do a few of those a week. So reach out to us if you want more information, or check out the link, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, let's go. Cheers. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Have a beautiful weekend, you guys.
Bye.
Namaste.